Hi everyone, and it feels like absolutely forever since I've said this, but welcome back to another one of my videos. It's been so long since I've done a video. I think the last one I did was around about August time, and I never meant to stop doing them so suddenly, but it just happened. I can't explain why. I wish I could say it's because I've been on some luxury round the world cruise or a fantastic trip, but to be honest, it's just time. Work got really hectic towards the end of last year, and that was pretty much the reason. And all the time I did have to spend at the allotment, I didn't have a lot of time, but the time I did have, I just wanted to spend getting things done, because I love doing the videos, but they do take up a lot of time to do. And I just didn't have that time to actually be filming everything that I was doing, which is a shame. But this year, I'm crossing my fingers and giving myself a hypothetical kick up the backside and telling myself that I will be more regular with these updates, because I enjoy doing it so much. And it was actually really touching to have a few of you message me either on YouTube, or I had a couple of emails and comments on my blog actually asking if I was okay and where I was, and saying you were missing the videos. And that was actually really touching to hear that, because it was so nice to think there was people out there that had noticed I wasn't about and that were missing the videos and actually asking how I was. So if you're one of those people, then thank you. I am here, I'm all good, and we're going to keep going with the videos. I'm not stopping them. Today you'll notice that I'm actually chilled out, relaxing on my sofa here. That wasn't the plan. The plan for today's video, and I will be cutting to the allotment shortly, this isn't going to be a whole sofa chit-chat video because that would be boring. I was going to film this video completely on the allotment, and yeah, last night I was like, I'm going up the allotment tomorrow, I'm going to do a video, it's going to be great, I'm going to get right back into it. And then I stepped outside this morning to go and do this video, and oh my goodness, the wind out there is crazy. It is windier than my daughter is when she's been eating beans, which is saying something. She's probably going to kill me for saying that. Never mind. I'm sure she'll get her own back. So it's so windy out there. I think it's about 20, well, they say to expect between 25 miles an hour and 40 miles an hour gusts of winds. And it is so windy out there, and I just thought if I try and take up the allotment and actually do the speaking part while I'm at the allotment, you're not going to hear me, the wind noise is going to be irritating for everyone, I'm going to be putting out a video that I'm then not happy with because there'll be so much wind noise in the background, I'll end up shouting and it'll all just go wrong. So what I'm going to do, and I'm hoping this is going to work because I've never done this before, I have filmed the footage up at the allotment, and I'm going to try and combine it with some technical wizardry and create a voiceover. It could go horribly wrong, but that's the only way I could really think of doing it today, because like I say, with the wind as it is, it's not going to be good audio quality if I film the sound up the allotment as well. But today was the one day I had to actually get out and do a video, and I thought, I am not letting that weather stop me, I'm going to get this done, and this is the way that we're going to do it. Today's video we're going to be focusing on my new plot. Those of you that have seen my other videos will know that I took on plot 3A towards the end of summer last year. And if you have watched my previous videos, you will know that the weeds and the grass and everything was about 2 foot tall. You couldn't see where you were walking, you couldn't see what was underfoot. I've done a bit. I've cut a lot of it down, I've done some digging. There was a lot of rubbish on the site, which is still on the site because I just haven't had a chance to get it all loaded into my car and taken up the tip. So there's a lot of rubbish still there. But what I'm going to do is just give you a brief tour of the plot, along with a little talk on what I plan on doing with it, where I plan on putting certain fruits and vegetables, and what I plan on growing. It's not all going to be done this season. No way is it going to be done this season. It's going to be a sort of 2, possibly 3-year project to get it looking how I want it to look. But I will get there, and I want to show it to you today because I haven't focused on this new plot much, and I think it'd be nice to see a plot literally from start, where it's overgrown and messy, hopefully through to, in however long it is, having a nice, productive, beautiful plot. So that's today's plan. And plot 7A is ticking over nicely. I covered that towards the end of last year, which I'm so pleased I did. Every year I tell myself I'm going to cover the plot, and then I never do, and then I regret it in the springtime when the weeds have grown and I've got to dig it again and it's a nightmare. Last year I finally learned from my own advice and I did cover the plot, and it is looking great. There's not going to be a lot to do to get that one ready for planting, which is excellent, which means I can focus on plot 3A. Plot 7A is looking good. It's not doing a lot at the minute. I did go down there today. Obviously, when I was at 3A, I popped over across to 7A, and I harvested myself. Oh, I'm just down here, fresh from the ground, fresh covered in mud. Let's hope I don't drop this on the sofa. Couple of nice leeks, which I'm happy with. You can see they're fresh out the ground. I should really have sorted them out before bringing them into the house, but hey-ho. And also, I was rather surprised at myself, but I managed to harvest some carrots. And I wasn't expecting that, and actually, they are decent sort of sized carrots there. And it is February, and I have never harvested carrots in February. I didn't even realise it was possible. I've sowed these in the summer. I suppose it was about August time, and I was hoping to get one last quick crop over summer before the weather got too cold. And that didn't happen. At the end of summer, into October, I checked on them and they were tiny, they hadn't done anything, so I kind of wrote them off. But I didn't pull them up, I left them where they were, and I went down there today, and yeah, I've managed to pull a few out the ground. I'd say they're not the biggest carrots in the world, but they're certainly edible ones, so I'm happy about that. A little extra treat, so I'll probably do leeks and carrots and do some sort of stew with them, because that'll be great. I think that is all the updates I've got to say before I take you across to the plot. I'm going to definitely, I promise I'm going to try and keep these updates more regular now, as regular as I can. But yeah, let me transport you over to the plot and show you what's been going on. This here is plot 3A, and those of you that saw it before will see that I have cut down a lot of the grass, but there is still an awful lot of work to do. And my plot extends to up here, and along we go. Down by this lovely pile of rubbish is the end of my plot, and it goes all the way down here along to just here, where I'm probably going to be just out of sight. Yep, just along here. That is my boundary. And I've got a lot of work to do, but I am very excited. This plot most definitely has potential, and I'm looking forward to getting started with it. So the first bed I'm going to show you is this one, and it's got loads of these plastic tube things here. I have got absolutely no idea what they're for. Maybe to make some sort of frame, who knows. Anyhow, I'm going to keep hold of them just in case they're useful. And the soil, I've got fairly decent soil underneath these horrible old carpets which were here when I arrived, and the soil underneath, hopefully you might be able to see, is looking fairly good. At the minute it's obviously really waterlogged, but the one thing I was told is that the previous plot owners had actually manured this really well, so fingers crossed this soil will be fairly good. I'm planning on growing potatoes all up here. I'm just going to fill it with potatoes because they break up the soil really well, so this will be a potato bed. Down here I covered this myself with this black weed resistant material. I've dug it all over as well last year. It was really overgrown, and I dug down. Obviously there's still some weeds and bits that are poking through the material, but I want to put strawberries in here. I think I'm going to do a new strawberry bed, probably planting through membrane, and that will be this bed here. The plan for this one is most definitely strawberries, and lots of them. Now this bed here, and you can hardly even tell that it's a bed, is going to be a nightmare, I think. It is covered with carpet, but it's also covered with rubbish. There's some netting, and the carpet's been on there so long that actually there's grass and weeds and roots starting to grow on top of the carpet as well. But I'm hoping that once I get through it all and underneath it, I'll be okay. They say plenty of rubbish, it's all just been left by the previous owner. It is going to take a lot of work. I think I might cover this with black membrane after I've dug it over, and then try and grow some squash through it this year, because I think being covered is going to help this area. That is the plan for this one. I say you can't even tell it's a bed at the minute, but it will be. When I'm done with it, it will be another bed with squash. Lots of squash. Now I found all of this carpet that I've covered it with in the rubbish pile at the back there. I've just noticed here that it's come uncovered. That must have been the wind that's blown that off. I'll just cover that back up again. But this carpet was left behind, and the only advantage of having it is that I can use it to cover. I mean, I am not looking forward to disposing of this carpet when I'm done with it, because I don't want it hanging around on my allotment. But I've just cut everything down underneath this carpet and covered it, and it is very lumpy and bumpy. It's sturdy. There's not, you know, it's not weeds and things under there. It is soil, so it's very lumpy. So this is going to need flattening, and hopefully the carpet will kill off the weeds a little bit, and then I can dig it over and hopefully try and flatten all of this and get it level, because it's not level, and I don't like things not being level. This bit is going to be the hardest challenge, I think, doing all of this, because it's so uneven. Well, I've got my own poly sort of greenhouse. I've always wanted one of these, but unfortunately this one is not in the best condition. This was left by the previous owners, but it is torn and it's ripped. What I'd like to do long term is probably replace this with a shed, because I don't see this particular one being particularly useful for my plot. It's caught up with brambles. It's full of rubbish, so I think I'm going to go and try and hopefully replace it with an actual shed, which I would love. I'm just going inside it a little bit here, I say full of weeds and roots. A few seed trays that might be useful, I'll probably try and rescue them, but other than that it was again just rubbish really left in this bit for me. That is the one thing with this plot, is so much rubbish, and it's not even compostable stuff. It's stuff that actually is going to have to be physically taken off the plot and thrown away. The worst job. I did get these, and they should be useful. And speaking of rubbish, this is the worst area of the plot. I think it's where the previous owners chucked just whatever they didn't want. I've got plastic bags full of rubbish, I've got metal spikes, I've got a bag of sand, everything you could possibly imagine, and it's just literally been dumped here. And this is the area that I want to become either flowers or chickens, but at the minute it's not good for either. I've got broken terracotta pots, even an old hose. I mean, why do you store a hose in a dustbin full of water like that? It's crazy. So yeah, flowers or chickens. My heart wants chickens, but my head tells me that flowers would be better. Flowers in a seating area, because where animal welfare is concerned, you can't really skimp, and until I know I can give chickens a proper care, I'll go with flowers. But yeah, let's just have a little look at what I'm dealing with here. It's not good. There's brambles as well, really thick stemmed brambles as well, not just little ones. They've been there a while, so they're going to need to be dug out properly so they don't spread. This is going to be a challenge. It's a challenge I'm up for, but it is going to be a challenge. But when it's done, it's going to be such a reward to see it covered in flowers and a little table and chairs. All of this gone and transported and transformed to something completely different. Now this little patch here might not look like much, but it was about 2 foot tall in weeds, you know, up to about there. It was horrible. You couldn't see the edging, you couldn't see that this was a bed. So I've sort of chopped it down a bit, but actually my kids did most of this for me. They dug it over and they got it looking really nice, and then we didn't cover it. So it's got a little bit weedy, but compared to how it was, it's looking fantastic. Flowers in this bed, I think. Calendula. I'd like to grow calendula in this bed. And my plan is to have, some calendula here. And then I'm hoping maybe some more flowers. But over here, what I'd love to do is build a herb spiral. Make it kind of a focal point of the allotment. So when that's all dug and uncovered, I'm going to put in a herb spiral. Now down here, this is the only bed that I've actually planted anything in. And I've gone with some garlic. I do like my garlic. I did dig the bed over first, but I didn't do a good enough job because there is loads of grass in here too. But I just wanted to get the garlic in and get something growing in this plot. And I've got them coming up all over now. It's not looking the healthiest, I must admit, but it's growing, so we'll see how it goes. And at the end I've also popped in some giant alliums, the ones with the massive purple seed heads. And I put 6 of them in, and I think that down here, we've got one coming up. Sorry, let me try and show you. I believe that there is one of them. And there were 6 in total. That one's come up nicely, and I've got one more over here, which I believe is just coming up. But I can't see any of the others, so I'm a little concerned about why they aren't coming up yet. Hopefully they're just being slow. There's no sign of the rest of them yet. I need to dig out some of that grass as well. Weed it a little. But this is going to be the allium bed. So garlic, and I say the giant alliums there for their flowers. This bed is much the same as the other one. It's nice to have these really sturdy raised beds, but I've just covered it with rubbish at the moment. There was nowhere else to put it. I need to get rid of that. I will get rid of that. I'll take it to the tip. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to pop in this bed. So this is plot 3A in all its current glory. As you'll see, I have done a bit. I have chopped some weeds down and I've done some digging. It's so far off where I want it to be, but it's coming up to warmer weather now. And I will get it going, get it growing, and hopefully get it into a productive allotment like I have done with 7A. It's going to be so much hard work, but I really enjoy doing things like this, and I thought it'd be nice to show an allotment from start to finish as well. Plot 7A was kind of done when I first showed you. I got it kind of how I wanted it, whereas this one is a complete from scratch allotment. I mean, it hasn't been worked on. You can see that it hasn't been worked on for a long time, and there is a lot of weeding, a lot of strimming, a lot of cutting, a lot of levelling that's going to need to be done. But I actually think when it is done, it's going to be a very pretty allotment. That's what I want for this one. I want flowers, I want fruit, I want a nice little seating area, a little shed. 7A is more of a productive one. I have obviously got my flower patch in 7A, but this one I really want to focus on just flowers, pretty things, and obviously some vegetables as well. I can't not have the vegetables, but I just want to make this one like a proper beautiful little haven. So they are the plans, and I can see it in my mind. In my mind it's not like this sort of overgrown land. In my mind there's flowers and vegetables and it's all productive. Oh, there was one last thing I wanted to show you actually over here. A little unexpected treat that we found when we moved into this plot is we have got some grapes. And there was masses of them towards the end of last year. They're just tiny up there now. But that was an unexpected treat. Anyway, thank you for watching this video today. As always, any likes or comments or subscribes are really appreciated. It really does mean a lot to me, so thank you if you do like or comment or subscribe. And I shall keep my videos more frequent from now on, that's a promise. and I shall see you next time with hopefully a update. Bye for now.